It was the end of January, and a terrible storm was raging. The snow whirled through the streets and lanes, and the window panes were plastered with it, as if someone had thrown wet mortar at them. One by one, the sparrows fell from the rooftops, shivering with cold. But inside, it was warm and cozy. Inside, a little sparrow family huddled together. The father, quite pleased with himself, chirped that spring was just around the corner. He had seen a sprout peeking through the snow in the garden just 3 weeks earlier. 3 weeks. That felt like a whole year to the little ones. They argued that the world wasn't following the almanac, that the calendar was all wrong. Their mother, a wise and gentle bird, tried to calm them. She told them of the storks, who travel far and wide and know when each season begins. The sparrows decided they would ask the first stork they saw. One day, while the mother sparrow and her children were out looking for food in a garden, they saw 2 storks marching proudly on their long red legs. The young sparrows, full of courage, hopped forward and chirped, "Stork, stork, fly home and rest." For now the winter is past, but the storks just looked at them with a knowing glance. The sparrows were hurt by this and flew away, grumbling that the storks were making fun of them. And indeed, the harsh cold returned. Weeks passed, and the ice on the lake began to thin. The sun felt warmer. The sparrow family watched them land. This time, the sparrows didn't ask their questions. They simply watched and knew. The stork father gathered his family and told them a story. He spoke of his travels in the warm land of Egypt, of the pyramids and the river Nile, too. Described the marabou storks, who had their own stories to tell. One marabou had told him a tale from a wise old bird, a story about the great King Solomon. King Solomon had commanded the Queen of Sheba to solve a riddle. She brought 2 identical-looking flowers, one real and one exquisitely crafted from paper. The king, wise as he was, couldn't tell them apart. He then noticed a bee buzzing by the window. "Open the casement," he commanded. The bee flew in, circled both flowers, and without a moment's hesitation, landed on the living one to gather honey. "That is the real one," said the king. The young storks were fascinated. They asked their father what this had to do with the seasons. The father stork smiled. "The bee is like us," he said. "We are messengers of nature. We don't follow a man-made calendar. We feel the true arrival of spring. The sparrows think they know from a single sprout, just like the Queen of Sheba tried to trick the king with a paper flower. But nature has its own timing, its own truth." The sparrows who had been listening from their nest nearby finally understood. It wasn't about the date on a calendar, too. It was about the feeling in the air, the warmth of the sun, the buzz of the first bee. They looked at the green shoots now, carpeting the garden, the gentle breeze rustling the new leaves. The world was alive again. And so, the story of the year unfolded, not by the turning of pages in an almanac, but by the turning of the earth itself. Storks built their nest, the sparrows raised their young, and the bee found its flower. Each creature played its part in the beautiful unwritten story of the year. The sparrows now knew that patience was a virtue, and that the truest signs of the seasons are not seen with the eyes, but felt with the heart.